Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, administration sees a new Title IX coordinator, and we take an in-depth look at the recent flooding situation in the Mountainview Residence Hall.
We go across campus for a look at one of the new buildings on the South Quad, and a look at a new environmental conference open to students.
Plus, the celebrating 1 year of the Recreation and Wellness Center being open.
All that and much more coming up in the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome back, Bobcats, to a brand new semester of the Q30 Newscast. I'm Keenan Mills, and am lucky enough to be joined by the wonderful Keith Savage.
That's right, Keenan. It was a long winter break, and I'm glad to be back delivering all things Quinnipiac news.
Let's get right into everything that has happened. This morning, Quinnipiac announced a new Title IX coordinator to take over in March. Patricio Jimenez will step in to look after the Title IX process in the Quinnipiac community. Brittany Sweat will have the interim title until Jimenez takes over later in the semester. Jimenez currently works as the Title IX coordinator at Syracuse University and has done other related work at Brooklyn College and worked as a lawyer in Rochester, New York. This came after the previous interim Title IX coordinator, Sarah Helyar, left the university last week. Q30's Vanessa Blasi has more on the lack of stability in Quinnipiac's diversity department within the last year.
Quinnipiac University's interim Title IX coordinator, Sarah Helyar, has left the university, making her the second person in this position to leave in just 1 year.
Sarah had some bigger and better opportunities that only come once in a lifetime, but it makes me a little bit anxious at some times. I think that's something that's growing on our campus every day.
Helyar served as interim for only 11 months. She replaced the previous coordinator, Dennis Kortang, who left at the end of January last year. In part of a statement, Helyar said, "My new job allows me more program oversight and more opportunities to affect positive policy changes." The new Title IX coordinator will be Patricio Jimenez, who is the current Title IX investigator at Syracuse University. Jimenez will start on March 11th. In the meantime, an Aletta law attorney, Brittany Sweat, will serve as interim. Before Syracuse, Jimenez was a Title IX coordinator at Brooklyn College. He also served as an assistant district attorney in Monroe County, New York.
Students say turnover within the diversity department here is not necessarily new. Within the last year, 6 diversity officials left the university, including Mr. Kortang, Damian Lane, Veronica Jacobs, Don Sawyer, Wayne Gersey, and now Ms. Helyar. Students are hoping for some relief.
Having 6 people leaving in 1 year is detrimental to a department, no matter what you're doing, no matter what type of department it is.
It makes me wonder where we're going with diversity on this campus, and I just hope that it's in the right direction.
Helyar told Q30 News that she officially left on January 22nd, 1 day before students were notified. Reporting for Q30 News, I'm Vanessa Blasi.
Some first-year students in Mountainview were welcomed back to campus with a splash.
I would argue it was more like a puddle, Keith. Q30's Julia Barcello has more on the story.
24 students have been displaced to temporary emergency rooms after a recent flooding disaster in the Mountainview Residence Hall. On January 18th, a sprinkler head in Mountainview burst due to pressure buildup in the basement, causing flooding on the 2nd and 3rd floors at around 11:45 p.m.
Like the top of their closet, and so everything just flew off, like the top of the closets and everything. Like it was all black, like oily type water and stuff.
6 suite-style dorms were directly impacted by the incident, displacing 48 students. These students were relocated to temporary emergency rooms in the Commons Residence Hall and Dana English Hall. Mark DeVilbus, Quinnipiac's director of residential life, stated the university is on track to finish the cleanup soon. There has been no finalized cost of the damages.
But there are still students from 3 of the suites who are in temporary housing. We think they'll be there probably about another week, maybe a little bit less than that.
Not only were the suites impacted, but so were these hallways. As we could see, there is still some water damage impacting the functionality. According to Rouse, fixing these halls is the next step.
Yeah, so the primary goal right now is to finish the last 3 suites that are being restored and rebuilt. After that, I know we'll continue working on making sure the common areas, because the corridors were affected a little bit, we'll get those as well back in order.
Students are understanding of the situation, however, distraught by the damages caused.
It wasn't a great thing to come back to, but The school said that they're gonna like take an inventory of all the injured or all the damaged things, and hopefully we'll get money back for it, but I guess we'll find out.
The university will respond with more information within the coming week. Reporting from Mountainview Residence Hall, I'm Julie Barcello, Q30 News.
Monday, Quinnipiac President Judy Olean added another title to her resume. She was named as the co-chair of Advanced CT, a nonprofit based in the state of Connecticut with the purpose of recruiting out-of-state companies to come to Connecticut while also helping to build up the companies that are currently in the state. Since its founding, Advanced CT has brought over 14,000 jobs to Connecticut and has also led to almost $2.7 billion in capital investment. Olean was pleased to get the role and even accepted it in front of Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont. Governor Lamont said, quote, We've got a close relationship with the business community and the academic community, and nobody symbolizes that more than Judy with what they're doing here at Quinnipiac.
On Tuesday night, the Black Student Union held an event at Eklund 101 to discuss what members should expect from the organization for the spring semester. One of the topics talked about was the annual fashion show. The School of Business announced that students can now get a certificate in entrepreneurship and innovation from taking 4 courses in the field. There are 3 required courses and an elective course to choose from. Students who are interested in gaining a certificate must complete the declaration form first. On Thursday, there will be an info session on Zoom at 5 p.m. Professor Winnie Sanders has more on what to expect.
There was a demand for students outside of the major looking to get some sort of recognition for the coursework that they took in the field. So this is sort of a hybrid, minor, or major.
Keenan, a great start to all things Quinnipiac news, but I do have to say, we're going to have to take a break.
Oh, Keith, you almost forgot. We have the wondrous honor of having Q30's Ryan Raggio in studio to tell us the weather for the next few days. Ryan?
Thank you, Keenan and Keith. Now, right now we're sitting at a crisp 34 degrees, but the high of today is 39 degrees with a low of 28. Now, tomorrow's going to be a little bit the same as today with a lot of cloud cover. A little warmer, though, with a high of 43. But Friday, you see the sun starting to peek out a little bit. Now, that's a little surprise that Mother Nature has in store for us that we'll have to find out after this break.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Thanks for sticking with us. Quinnipiac has been working on a 3-story building called The Site that is set to open very soon. Q30's Joe Monty has more.
Lately, the Mount Carmel campus at Quinnipiac University seems to be ever expanding, with new additions for health, wellness, and living space. But that's not all. One of the buildings on the horizon is specific to academics, and Quinnipiac recently announced it's called The Site. It stands for Science, Innovation, Technology, and Exploration. The building is 137,000 square feet and will become an important part of daily life on campus for everyone, but especially those in certain majors.
There are 15 new science lab spaces in the building. There's a lot of science research space that's there. There's also new technology spaces.
The site will give students majoring in health sciences and nursing a new presence on the Mount Carmel campus.
I'm glad that we're having an update. Research is super important. It's really important to get involved in the research process and having like modern and updated labs is obviously a really essential part of that.
The building will also create new comfortable places for students to work.
All of the common spaces were designed to be places you'd want to hang out, places students are going to want to use. We want to promote that kind of collaboration.
The site also creates space for adequate teaching environments.
Students want flexibility, that when you're teaching, sometimes you want to be in rows, but then you want people collaborating or working together in groups. So all of those ideas have been baked into the physicality of the building.
Many in the Quinnipiac community wonder what the effects on the environment will be from these new buildings and all this construction. Well, those buildings were designed with those concerns in mind. The site is LEED certified. A LEED certification is widely known as a recognition of sustainability. Plans are in the works for the site to take learning about the environment to a new level.
So the top floor will have a greenhouse. It could be used again for student research, faculty research.
The site is set to open in May of 2025, which is roughly 1 academic year away. Reporting from Quinnipiac for Q30 News, I'm Joe Monti.
Thanks, Joe. Speaking of the construction, the new residence hall currently being built officially has a name. The Grove will feature over 400 beds and is set to host students as soon as the upcoming fall semester. Spots will be open for first years all the way up to seniors. Will require 17 RAs. The positives include air conditioning throughout all of the dorms and an alleged beautiful view of the mountain we know as the Sleeping Giants.
Last week, Quinnipiac announced their Bobcat Visit Day program. No, Keith, I'm not talking about actual Bobcats. I'm talking about Future Bobcats, a program that gives potential future Quinnipiac students an opportunity to be hosted by a current student living on campus. This is an effort to give students a piece of what Quinnipiac campus life is really about. You can learn more by reaching out to dayvisit@quinnipiac.edu if you are interested in hosting.
On Thursday, Dr. Lawrence Strauss will be presenting Blackballed, the black and white politics of race on America's campus in the Communications, Computing, and Engineering building. Room 101. Blackballed is a call to action to make radical changes in universities to their policies and standards to foster a better legacy for students.
Quinnipiac will again be sending students to Philadelphia for the Society for Environmental Journalists in April. This is a trip organized by the Albert Schweitzer Institute for students interested in current environmental challenges and looking to pursue a career in this area. Students looking to partake can get funding and should apply by sending a resume, a letter of interest, and 2 professor references to the Schweitzer email address. Now, we have covered Connecticut and Quinnipiac news, but how about what's going on in politics?
Yeah, Andrew Reynolds says more on what has been going on in the politics world.
Thanks, Keenan and Keith, and good evening, everyone. We start with a heated race for the White House. As of today, 2 candidates are battling for the Republican nomination for president. Former South Carolina governor and former President Donald Trump, who is the frontrunner in the race. Trump convincingly won both the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primaries and is, according to multiple polls, the frontrunner in the nomination of the GOP, further leading President Biden to earn him his 2nd term in the White House. The candidates now focus on Nikki Haley's home state of South Carolina for the 2nd primary of the election cycle, which will be held on February 24th. While the race for the Republican nomination is still underway, West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin has claimed that a potential Joe Biden health scare or a Donald Trump conviction could give him an opening to run as an independent this year, according to CNN. According to reports, when he visited New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Georgia, Manchin said he believes there is a role for him as a national icon in the Middle Aisle. While Senator Manchin has yet to declare any campaign, his approval ratings, according to The Hill, have gone up 4 points during last year, but still remains one of the least favored senators in Washington, D.C. And moving outside the nation's capital, 25 Republican governors across the country have signed a letter backing Texas Governor Greg Abbott in his battle to fight against the federal government over controlling the influx of migrants at the United States-Mexico border. In an official statement, the Republican Governors Association said, quote, "We stand in solidarity with our fellow Governor Greg Abbott and the state of Texas in utilizing every tool and strategy, including razor wire fences to secure the border," end quote, and also said, quote, "The Biden administration has abdicated its constitutional compact duties to the states," end quote. The only Republican governor not to sign the letter was Phil Scott, Vermont's Republican governor. That's all from politics this week from around the country. Keith, Keenan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Andrew. Still yet to come, we return with Ryan Raggio for more weather.
As well as an update on the first birthday of the Recreation Wellness Center. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry, I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Now, Keith, it's January. It feels a little bit ridiculous that there's no snow on the ground.
I agree with you, Keenan. I am no genius, but luckily Ryan Raggio is back here giving us the full weather, full 7-day weather forecast and more.
Thank you, Keith and Keenan. So as we head into the 7-day forecast, much like I mentioned, it's going to be a high of 39. A lot of clouds Wednesday, Thursday. However, on Friday, the sun begins to peek through a little bit, so Friday tosses it up to Mother Nature for the slam dunk. We're having a sunny-filled weekend heading all the way from Saturday to Tuesday. We're getting highs of 42 and 41 on the weekend, with lows dipping into the mid-20s. However, Monday and Tuesday both have highs of 36 and 21. Now, instead of looking up and seeing the clouds, you'll be looking up and seeing bright sunny skies with these chillier temperatures. Now, let's head into the weather around Connecticut. Now, as you can see in Torrington, it's going to be a high of 40 and a low of 27. Heading to the middle part of Connecticut, Danbury, Hartford, Norwich here, and New London, all going to be 43 degrees of a high, and the lows is going to be all the same at 30. Now, heading toward the South Shore, we got New Haven's going to be a high of 44 and a low of 31, and getting 1 degree warmer all the way down in Stamford. It's going to be a high of 45 and a low of 31. Now, that's all I have from the weather, the 7-day forecast in Connecticut. Now, with these warmer temperatures and the sun coming out, Keith and Keenan, do you have any big plans for this weekend?
Keith, what do you got?
I think I might try to play some baseball over the weekend. I know it's still a little chilly, a little cold out still, but I still think we play some wiffle ball right now.
Wiffle ball or catch? What do you think? Because wiffle ball is an incredibly underrated yard sport.
It is.
It's a great sport.
Especially the Super Bowl is coming up soon, so maybe playing some catch isn't too bad.
Ooh, throwing the pigskin is pretty good.
Yeah.
The football around the yard, not a bad idea.
I think I'm going to go with wiffle ball, but it's time to move on to some national news.
We have Q30 Santino Maoni to give us some national knowledge from the past week. Santino?
Thank you, Keith and Keenan. So the United Postal Service is planning to cut 12,000 jobs, which is about 2.4% of their 500,000 total workers. The packaging giant said in an earnings call on Tuesday that it was seeking $1 billion in cost reductions for the fourth quarter, citing softer demand and higher union labor costs. A UPS spokesperson confirmed the job cuts do not and will not affect union represented roles. The spokesperson added, quote, jobs throughout the world and in all functions would be affected at the company, and 75% of the reductions would come in the first half of the year, end quote. The government is set to begin pricing negotiations on the 10 most expensive prescription drugs covered by Medicare. This week, the stage is set for a fiery tug-of-war between U.S. officials and drug makers as the Biden administration attempts to lower soaring prescription drug costs for older adults. The negotiations, as mandated by the Inflation Reduction Act, are slated to run through August 1st before final prices are announced on September 1st. Medicare provides health insurance coverage to over 65 million people in the U.S., and it's now entering uncharted territory as Medicare has never been able to directly haggle with drug makers over their prices. fake artificial intelligence, e-generated nude and sexual suggestive photos of Taylor Swift continue to circulate on social media platforms, including X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Basic keyword searches of those platforms on Monday quickly turned up the fake images of the pop star. Despite efforts to limit the spread, this past Saturday, X stopped Swift's name from working in its search function, though alternate phrasings still turned up the pictures. As of Tuesday morning, however, X unblocked searches from Swift's name. Now, Keenan and Keith, that's all I have for national news. Back to you two at the desk.
Santino, the Quinnipiac dance team made headlines in Orlando, Florida over the weekend. The Bobcats were in the Division I UDA College National Dance Team Championship and earned a 4th place finish in the pom category. The team placed 7th in the game day category and 11th in jazz.
It is that time yet again to take another break.
Still to come is an update on how the Bobcats are doing on the rink and on the court, as well as a change for May's graduation. We'll be back soon.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
This weekend, we saw Connecticut's top hockey teams facing off in the CT Ice tournament.
Also, we were both there. Quinnipiac men's basketball also stayed in state and traveled to Fairfield. Q30's Ashley Potvin has all that and more.
Thanks, Keaton and Keith. This week, we're talking all about men's and women's ice hockey and men's basketball. Starting off with men's ice hockey, the 4 teams from around the state traveled to battle for the coveted CT Ice title. In the first round, Quinnipiac faced off against their rival, the Yale Bulldogs, for the 2nd time this season. The lone goal of this game was scored in the first period, but would be enough for Quinnipiac to get to the title game. The Yukon Huskies would be the one to stand in their way. They would strike first in the opening period. A scoring frenzy then happened in the second period to lead to a score of 3-3, heading into the final 20 minutes. This didn't last long as Zach Tupker hit the go-ahead and eventual game winner to give the Bobcats the CT Ice title for the 3rd year in a row. Another rivalry took place this week with the Quinnipiac men's basketball team traveling to Fairfield University. Quinnipiac looked to win to take sole possession of first place in conference standings. Back and forth action was the theme in the first half, but we're going to hop right into the last minute of action. With 52 seconds remaining, senior Matt Belanc made a layup to tie the game at 64 apiece. Belanc wasn't finished as he scored a game-winning layup with 3 seconds left on the clock. The Bobcats won 66-64, pushing them in sole lead of the conference. Now, we're switching back to ice hockey, but we're going to go to the women's side. The Lady Bobcats have had a rough couple of weeks on the ice, dropping 4 straight. 4 of their only 7 losses have come in the last 2 weeks of play. The first of 4 losses occurred on January 19th as the Bobcats fell in a shutout loss from the Colgate University Raiders. The following day, the Bobcats lost in a close one to Cornell. The game winner for the Big Red was scored with 53 seconds left. Quinnipiac proceeded to drop 2 more games against Yale and Brown to fall to 10-7 in the conference. Quinnipiac looks to break this streak on Saturday against Princeton in Hamden. That's all I have this week for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Sticking with sports, Ticket Smarter has partnered with Quinnipiac to give students a 5% discount on purchases in the Connecticut area by using the code Hartford5 at checkout for concerts at places like Toad's Place in New Haven, minor league baseball games to see the Hartford Yard Goats, the Hartford Stage, and numerous other places.
Ponds aren't frozen anymore, no need to stress. Hamden Mayor Lauren Garrett released last week that there will now be open skates at the Louis Astorino rink in Hamden. Open skate will occur on Friday nights from 8:15 to 10 p.m. and have already begun. It costs $10. Skate rentals cost another $10, and the snack bar will be open in case you get hungry. The rink is located on 595 Mix Avenue here in Hamden. Keith, you're from Boston.
I am.
How are you on the skates? How are you on the ice?
I'll be honest, I am not a good ice skater at all. I didn't know how to ice skate much growing up. It wasn't one of my things. What about you?
No, I mean, we both played basketball, and you don't end up on the ice where we're practicing all coming up. And I've only been once, and my knees and ankles, they were done for the rest of the winter. I couldn't walk.
It gets tough over there, especially with you. You had those tough knees.
Yeah, I got bad knees. I got horrible knees.
So overall, ice skate is tough.
Yeah. But it feels like just yesterday, the ribbon was cut and the new gym was open to the Quinnipiac student body.
Well, Keen, it's been a full year in Q30. Cindy Weimer has more on the first anniversary of the opening.
A popular building on Quinnipiac's Mount Carmel campus is celebrating 1 year of opening to students and faculty, the Recreation and Wellness Center. Located next to the Arnold Bernard Library, the RecWell opened to the Quinnipiac community last January. The facility was established as a part of a strategic plan set forth by the university in hopes to boost overall campus innovation. The RecWell holds many upscale amenities that encompass all 8 dimensions of wellness, including a fully functional gym, fitness classes led by certified instructors, a health-conscious smoothie station, and so much more. Quinnipiac's Director of Recreation, Michael Medina, elaborated on key features of the center.
We really wanted to take not only just, a gym or court space or, a health center. We wanted to integrate things in a combined way. So we've been partnering with different areas of academics so that we can bring some financial wellness into students' lives, learning how to save, what they're going to do after they graduate if they have student loan debt.
Medina also highlighted the successful student engagement the facility has seen over the past year.
Numbers have been phenomenal. Opening week, we had over 11,000 students, faculty, staff who came through the turnstiles. We're averaging about 8,500 to 9,000 per week, and that is up about 300% from where we were before we opened the RecWell.
When prompted about their experience with RecWell, students expressed their appreciation for the new space.
They love coming to the gym early in the morning and the wide variety of equipment that they have, or the different events that they host, for example, Women's Wellness Night or RecWell After Dark.
So if you're looking to get a break from classes, be sure to stop by to get a shake, get a workout in, or even shoot some hoops. Coming to you from the Recreation and Wellness Center, Cindy Weimer, Q30 News.
Yeah, so overall, Keenan, there's a lot of great things happening in the RecWell. What's been your favorite?
I've always loved the idea of that rock wall. I've never gotten to it,
Me
but
neither.
It seems like such a great idea to just walk up it. A rock wall's a great invention.
I know, great workout too. I just haven't had the opportunity, but I do love Shake Smart. Shake Smart has been one of the best things that they added overall at this school, and something I enjoy all the time.
I completely agree with you. Acai bowls, milkshakes. Oh my God, I feel it has a healthy sense to it, so you don't feel like garbage after you have a milkshake. It's great. And then the basketball hoops are still up.
Yep.
That's always a fun ad that we both have used.
Yeah, I know, intramural basketball, all that stuff. It's all fun times. Also, the new rooms they added to next to the gyms. So many fun things. But in just a short few months, Keenan, we will both be taking the stage in our caps and gowns as college graduates.
That's right, Keith. It's scary, but this year, Quinnipiac graduates will have a new look. The caps and gowns will now be navy blue instead of the traditional black.
The new wardrobe will also feature a gold Q on the left sleeve. On the doctored gowns will feature the gold Q on the left side of the chest. This comes after a response from students wanting to show more school spirit on their big day.
Keith, what do you think about them? Do you like the traditional black, or are you excited that they're going to
I'm
the
excited.
blue?
I'm excited to see the new, how it's going to change. I like kind of going to change. I think this is going to be something good, at least to test out. If students don't like it, I think it changes it next year. But for us, I think it's going to be fun. How about you?
Can I be honest with you? I think they're ugly.
Wow.
Why are we doing that? Why are we being special? Just make them the normal things. Every school is navy blue. Why do we need to make our gowns navy blue? It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I think it's going to be cool, but I'm also excited for graduation. It's going to be such a fun time. Even though it is the end, it's going to be a great time to see. But I don't know.
I'm being a negative Nancy. Every picture that I've seen of the graduations over the years, everyone's sweaty. It seems like not a fun ceremony. What do you think?
I don't know. I get what you're saying right there, but still, graduation is something maybe once we're ever going to have. If we don't, both of us aren't grad students at the moment, so overall, it's going to be a great time.
That's true. I agree. Well, Keith, that's all we got for the Q30 Newscast. Thank you for tuning in.
Keep up to date with all things Q30 by following us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks for spending your Wednesday night with us.
We will see you next Wednesday, Bobcats. Have a good night.